A potential natural disaster in the idyllic Greek island of Santorini, a volcanic island in the Aegean Sea. And since last week, the island has been rocked by 2,000 earthquake storms, some as high as a magnitude of 5.2, but seismologists are fearing for the worst, saying that a swarm of quakes typically could amounts to foreshock activity, meaning that the largest quake is yet to come and could quite literally send shockwaves toward the Middle East. And even Israelis being told to be on alert for potential tsunamis. Joining us live to talk more about it is Egyptologist Dr. Galit Ben-Tovel, author of the book Messiah's Code, here to talk about these chilling parallels. Good evening, and thank you for being here, Galit.
Good evening, Emily. Always great to be here.
So you've been studying this a long time. You're also a professor. So explain, like, it's very weird when you think about the parallels. We've been told, research has shown that the original volcano kind of equates to the timeline of ancient Egypt and the Exodus. We know it was, I can't remember, 1600 BC.
1600, 1550, something like that.
So how does this compare?
Exactly.
It's so crazy
first of all, we
about.
have an amazing discovery already many years that the eruption of the volcano of Santorini back then in 1600 BC was connected to the story of Exodus. Now, it depends when you are connecting the story chronologically. In my book, Messiah Code, I assume that the story of Exodus did happen in the 18th dynasty of Egypt, which is in conjunction with the story of Santorini, with the eruption of the volcano, which means we can connect both events together if we decide that chronologically the story of Exodus happened then. Now, we have a record from the same prince of the 18th dynasty, the first one, Ahmose. We call this record, this is an historical record.
Ahmose,
who could be Moses, according to my theory. And in his time, is telling us that there is an unconditional weather that actually put Egypt in a turmoil. We speak about darkness, we speak about heavy rains, flooding everywhere, corpses are flooding everywhere in Egypt, and that he had to restore all the temples and the statue, everything was falling. It's a destruction of Egypt. Now, this record is well known by the Egyptologists by the name of the Tempest Stela, okay, speaking about this unconditional weather. And so interesting to see that, if I can say that the story of the Exodus, the eruption of Santorini, what we believe that also caused maybe some of the plague, and eventually, okay, the opening of the sea could be explained back then by a huge tsunami, okay, that came even to the shore of Egypt and the whole Middle East.
Wow. So, I mean, obviously this goes into, you know, thousands of years of history and a way of documenting it, but it actually, if you think about it, it does make sense. A cataclysmic event messes up everything, the bird patterns.
Exactly, especially in
but
this
also
kind
the gases
of
of that, which is interesting, that the off gases of this kind of activity could maybe explain some of the other phenomena, or people actually dying when you're talking about the plague of, the killing of the firstborn. Even a redness?
The redness. So Simcha Yakubovich, in his movie, when he decoded the story of Exodus, is showing that when you have an earthquake storm and when the plates, are moving, sometimes they release a gas. This gas that could be released under the surface of the earth could eventually also cause the redness of the sea. It's actually a release of gas. So we don't know exactly what, but definitely this event in Santorini was a major event to understand the whole arena of the story of Exodus. And I would even say that we have another archaeological evidence with not only the stele in Egypt, in the site of Tel El Daba, which is a varis, very close to the eastern side of the delta. We believe also that the Israelite, the tribe of Israel, the tribe of Jacob, lived there in Tel El Daba. This is the city when they left Goshen, when they left Egypt. What we found there also is pumice, a rock pumice, which is actually the evidence that the volcano of Santorini reached till the shore, till the delta of Egypt. So when you think about it today, and everybody is asking me, Galit, what do you think? Look what is happening in Santorini. So first of all, it's unbelievable to see the parallelism, but if there is a possibility that this earthquake storm will eventually cause again the volcano in Santorini to erupt another time, and maybe to cause in the shore of the Middle East, including Israel, another tsunami.
We won't be here to talk about it quickly. We have about 30 seconds. Explain also, we just finished the portion of Beshalach, which happens to be, you know, when we were allowed to leave and
Egypt.
And now here we're getting hostages home. So maybe we could
when you see
have a reason to be hopeful.
Hopefully, yes. I have to say that this connection with the para portion, you cannot not make the connection between what Israel is facing now, the release of the hostages, the release of the slave in the story of Exodus. So the parallelism between the story of Exodus, what we are facing now as Israeli, releasing the hostages. Is there a tsunami to come? I would say.
Let's hope. Or a tsunami of knowledge and awakening,
exactly.
of waking up to these realities. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for
Galit. Much appreciated.